It's Nate with Pulse PEMF and the PulseCast here at the 2025 Biohacking Conference. We're getting so many good stories. I'm absolutely loving this and meeting brilliant minds, the movers and shakers of the wellness and biohacking movement. And with me right now is Scott McDonald from MTE. Thank you so much, Scott, for
Yeah,
joining.
thank you for having me.
Oh, I appreciate you bringing your expertise. So let's talk about what you're doing right now, what
Right.
MTE is, and how you got started in this.
Yeah. So More Than Energy is a daily wellness blend of adaptogens, nootropics, and superfoods. And what's really unique about what we're doing is we created kind of a new kind of energy,
Mm.
something that will energize you during the day, something that will help you also sleep better at night. And in between that, we have a whole host of other benefits. But the foundation of our formula is paraxanthine, a new molecule, which I was talking to Sean Wells, the ingredientologist, about here at the Biohacking Conference. But it's really profound because it's has all the upside of caffeine, but none of the pitfalls. So what's
Yes.
really interesting is when you take caffeine and you isolate away like some of the other major metabolites like theobromine and theophylline, you're left with paraxanthine. And whether people know it or not, they're reaching for a green tea or coffee. They want that paraxanthine because it has all the positive attributes, right? There's no pitfalls, like I said before.
So it doesn't affect the adrenal
No, it
glands and
doesn't. There's no habituation, no jitters, no crash, only
come
an
on.
afterglow.
Yes.
And
You're
then
speaking my language.
beyond that, for our customers, we're getting really amazing testimonials because it's thermogenic. It burns like 100 calories every 4 hours of sitting down at your desk um, in REE mode or what they call rest mode.
Hmm.
And then on the flip, it's got all these cognitive capabilities, like it feeds the brain acetylcholine, dopamine, and serotonin. Produces nitric oxide better than beetroot powder for your athletes or people that just really want to enhance their brain function. Supports neuroplasticity with brain-derived neurotrophic factor
Come
or
on.
BDNF.
Yep.
It improves heart rate variability, like it raises HRV, which you'll see like if you wear an Aura ring or any of these like clear indicators of good health. You definitely want to, amp up that score. So
All from this one molecule.
all from paraxanthine, and that's like kind of the energy component of MTE. And the sleep component, we energize you during the day, help you sleep better at night. We use 28 milligrams of saffron, which is the most expensive spice in the world. It's more expensive than gold. They call it red gold. It's about $2,000 per ounce. But
Wow.
why it's really important is, yeah, it helps people with like PTSD, anxiety, sleep disorder. So it's part of our foundational wellness. It helps like lay the foundation for a good night's sleep. So it's a remarkable ingredient. And in between there, we have a formula that was specifically designed by a top plant botanist with a background in Ayurveda. He
Mhm.
spent 2 decades working on our plant botanicals at the lab and at his home. And when I approached him, I've known him for a long time. I went to college with him actually. And I was like, hey, we wrote this book, we feel like a lot of Americans, like things are too prescriptive. I don't think people really want to be told what to do or what to take. And so we kind of like had this epiphany and we're like, hey, let's create a product so we can Trojan horse wellness into the average American's daily lives, so they're not overdosing on ashwagandha, or
Right.
taking too much of things that are going to get them depressed, but find balance, but something that's easy to take once a day. It's really going to energize you, but put you in a good mood, right? So why would you want to have energy if you're miserable, right? Like overdosed on, different, stimulants. And so that was kind of like what we wanted to accomplish, but also have other benefits like inflammation response, stress management. We put 3 grams of prebiotic fiber in every serving for gut health. So,
Yes.
really, the mission is to, well, one, we wanted to create a product that didn't exist for ourselves. We saw the supplement space is kind of broken in the energy market. So, we wanted to really marry that up and reinvent the category because we felt like there's so many supplements out there that really don't work and are lacking efficacy.
Yep.
A lot of them are fairy dusted, like sprinkled in with ingredients to sound like interesting.
Yeah.
And some brands just throw in the whole kitchen sink, but there's no formula or design, and I think that's where things kind of get, dangerous in regards to taking supplements. So
Yep.
that's what we set out to do. And, we're growing the brand and, just really creating a product that's disrupting, in other words, thrown around a lot, but we've reinvented the energy category. What we
Which
brought
needed
up
to be done. The
exactly.
the energy drink and the energy supplement
Yeah.
industry has been hurting a lot of people more than helping them.
Yeah, and there's so many products out there that really aren't safe. And I think a lot of Americans are tired of making expensive pee, not to sound crass, but like a lot of these products, you'd have to get a blood panel to see if they're working. And what we did in designing our formula is to create a product, one, you're going to feel working right away.
Yep.
Paraxanthine is 96% bioavailable to the entire population.
Okay.
So you'll feel it working, but the cool thing is when it's combined with these other adaptogens and nootropics and superfoods, the benefits start to accumulate over time. So day one of you starting on the product is a lot different than day 120. So things just get better with time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like so if you know this from like taking things like ginseng, a lot of times you're not going to feel the full range of benefits or ginseng until like day 90.
I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Okay. So let's talk about the genesis, the origin story. How
Okay.
did you, how was this like always a dream since you were a kid, or did you?
It was a dream of mine from college.
Okay.
In college, I had a roommate named Jeff Boyd. He's my business partner. We were doing like dirty keto and paleo back in college. We trained together. We were running partners, and we've been exchanging like biohacks for like since the '90s. And
Before it was called biohacks.
yeah, yeah, kind of. I mean, back then it was just like still like the industry was a small cottage industry. I started out working at a health food store in college. That's how I met my formulator. He's pretty famous now. But anyway, became a broker. Started really learning a lot about supplements and herbalism, and spent a lot of time in corporate America. I knew that's what I didn't want to do, but I during COVID we were writing a book. I think I don't know if I alluded to this or not, but we felt like the book was kind of like a little bit prescriptive, and we really wanted to do this thing and in a way that we could again Trojan horse wellness into the average American's daily lives. So we came up with this formula. We looked at different delivery methodologies, like we're like, hey, would it be cool in a gummy bear? But then we like the amount of like adaptogens and plant botanicals we were putting in it would have made it the size of a golf ball. It wouldn't work. And
Oh
then I think
wow.
a lot of people at the time like had gummy fatigue or pill fatigue, and the bioavailability in powders is awesome. That's
Yes.
why brands like AG1 do so well because like I mean let's face it, like vitamins are a technology of like the war when people didn't have like nutrients in the trenches.
Yep.
So it
And we
was
haven't given the land rest, and so a lot of the soils are depleted of
right,
the nutrients. So we're a starving generation in many
right.
cases.
Yeah, and I mean really we've got kind of like one foot in like ancient wisdom, things that have worked over like hundreds of years, in ancient nutrition. And we have a foothold in scientific rigor. We're using brand new ingredients like paraxanthine and, uh, you know, clinically patented saffron, to kind of marry up both worlds. But really, like, what's different about us, we're not like a greens powder, we're not going to be your AG1, but what we do provide are things that you won't find in like a Western diet,
Yep.
that you need, especially now more than ever to succeed. I mean, there's just like so much white noise and blue light, so
And it's hard because there's a rise of that and a saturation in the markets. Hard to find quality products that are
right,
doing something cutting edge, because a lot of times you're focusing on the development of the product rather
right.
than this trendy marketing campaign. You're trying to put out a quality product rather than some fly by night trend.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Like when we went out to manufacture, like the first time we talked to our formulators, like, you're the only company that I've ever seen that's not like talking about an ROI. And it's like, well, we're designing this for ourselves, for our family and our friends. And then if we can build community there, we can build a community and do this the right way.
That's
So
brilliant.
we didn't want to put sucralose in our products. We weren't going to like fill our product with maltodextrins, with like things that disrupt your DNA, things that cause people
Yep.
diabetes. We're not signing up for that. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. And plus I wouldn't, I mean, it would frankly embarrass me.
That's well said. Yes, my wife is a doctor of naturopathy, so I hear her bemoaning these incredible products, but they are filtered or not filtered, but they're peppered with these maltodextrin and these fake sweeteners.
Sucralose
Yeah,
and yeah, so we call it in the industry, we back in the day, I don't know if they still call it this, but back in the 90s when I started, it was like berry dusting. Where they sprinkle
that's
in a few ingredients that sound relevant, but
yep.
there's not much of an impact. And I think ultimately people aren't really formulating, they're not really thinking about like playing the long game, especially with the energy space, or like making a Faustian bargain. A lot of people when they drink these energy drinks, it's man, you don't know what the end game is going to be, when you're putting this many chemicals in your body, and, for the youth, for like first responders and military people that are drinking a lot of energy drinks, we really want to put something out there that's going to help people so they can get off the hamster wheel because
Yes,
it just seems like it's an endless cycle, and before you know it, your adrenals are burnt out, you're
that
spiking
was
your
me.
cortisol levels and gaining weight. And it's not, yeah, the system has been broken until now, in my opinion. So really, now we're just meeting people like you, spreading the word, and just educating and letting people know that there are options that actually work. Because I tried to kick my energy consumption like since the '90s, and the first time with Paraxanthine, it really works.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely relate to what you were just sharing. In 2018, I had blown my adrenals out because
Yeah,
I was on the hamster wheel and I was just trying to juggle so many things and energy drinks. I thought, and I was, drinking the organic ones, right? Like
yeah,
that's gonna help. Like,
like with guarana in them and stuff.
well, that and organic sugar, and
Yeah, yeah,
all just it's still got 30 grams of sugar in it, and it's got
yes,
all these extra things and cyanocobalamin and
yeah.
inferior versions of B12 and these other B vitamins, and so I can definitely relate to that. Where were y'all in 2018? Just kidding. I needed
Yeah,
y'all like 8 years ago.
I mean, I wanted to do this like right out of college, but sometimes people are late bloomers, I guess. This came to me at a different part of my life.
You're
And
right on time.
okay, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, no, because I mean we're watching the wellness industry really surge right now, aren't we?
Yeah. And it's like I'm seeing so many amazing things here at the Biohacking Conference. And we've just met so many amazing people here that are doing like just groundbreaking things. And we're stoked to be a part of that.
This is the community that you were talking about
Yeah.
to the distributors when you're like, look, we're not trying to focus on that. We want to help our family and then build a community around that. And this is that community, right?
Yeah, yeah, I really feel at home with this community, and I didn't know what to expect when you go to a trade show. You're like, oh, this is gonna be super cheesy, or this is gonna be like just a big sales. Like my product's better than your product.
Yeah, right.
We've met a lot of friends here. We're gonna be collaborating with a lot of different people. We're gonna keep building relationships, doing this every year, and I've had a great time.
So talk about your current product offerings and then
Sure.
where you see yourself going in the next 5 years.
Yeah, so our current product offering is this. This is like our top seller. This is MTE, more than energy every day. This is a mango pineapple flavor.
Mm.
I think I talked about kind of the formula.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're selling direct, indirect. I mean, we started out as a D2C brand, like direct to consumer
Yep.
online, and my partner runs that. We're doing an amazing job there. I spearhead like all the retail. We went into over 250 stores, which was good for us in 6 months, and we're expanding outward. So we're growing, but really, the most important thing about like a health and wellness brand is like education and letting people know their options and there's better things out there. And I don't mean better for you, I mean healthy things,
Right.
right?
Yes, I can definitely relate to that. With Pulse PEMF, almost everything we've had to do in marketing, there's an element of education that has to go with it.
Right.
Because even though this has been around for over 100 years,
Yeah.
most people are not aware of that. So I totally understand that aspect of having to educate as you are marketing, and you want it to succeed. You want it to get into as many hands as possible, so you can
Right.
start saving adrenal glands. And for me, like that was one symptom of many things where I was literally on the brink of death that year,
Wow.
and that the adrenal blowout was exacerbating many of those issues. And so this is could quite literally save someone, because I've even watched how Red Bulls and certain energy drinks are causing the deterioration of dental health, mental health,
Right.
the liver, the gut lining. And so this is the alternative that our generation needs. Where do you see this going in the next 5 years?
Yeah, we're kind of the anti-energy drink, but I feel like we're really going to cross the chasm and go into the mainstream. I think that's the next step. But you got to kind of start with like early adopters and people that are on the edge of what's happening. And that's right now, this is the razor's edge of the Biohacking Conference. I mean, and so I guess the next step is how do we complete our mission and go more into mainstream America? I mean, we're helping people out like our parents that are boomers that started to recognize during COVID, hey, maybe we need to rethink our health. The younger generations are dialed in. They know what's up. They want clean ingredients. They know about
Yes.
sucralose and some of these other things that, blow up your gut microbiome, disrupt your DNA. I think I said that prior, but this is real stuff,
Yes.
but we have a lot of different customers. I'd say women are, you know, like, like our customer avatar,
Okay.
but we have a lot of professional athletes also that take the product in everything from pickleball to surfing to pro MMA guys and ultra athletes.
Hmm.
It's kind of a mixed bag. I mean, I think everybody, like I think Dave Asprey said this best, everybody needs energy. Without energy, like what are you going to do? It doesn't matter what other inputs you're putting in. Like if you don't
Right.
have energy, you're not going to thrive,
Yes. And you're not gonna be able to contribute back to society and
Right,
bring the breakthroughs that are you're carrying,
right.
what you've been able to now create into a tangible product. So
Yeah.
how can our viewers find out more about MTE and what you're doing?
Yeah. I mean, we're online at www.getmte.com. We're on social at get_MTE. The brand stands for More Than Energy. Hopefully, you can find us there. We're available, and
Now
we're
you said there's 250 stores that are carrying this. Are
yeah,
those like grocery stores or wellness centers?
yeah. We started out really with a lot of independence because that's what my background is in, and what I feel like is when you go to a health food store, there's people that have been there sometimes for 10, 20, 30 years that really understand herbalism and supplements. And so for us, they're our biggest advocates. So when they take the product, they're like, hey, the efficacy is intact. This really works. I'm really into your product. It just sells itself because the employees are like, people come in saying, hey, I want to get off a Red Bull, you know, boom, I have something for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, yeah,
That's amazing. Well, getmte.com
yes,
and check out maybe a local independent
yeah.
wellness
We have a
centers and
store locator on our site.
perfect. That's what I was going to
Yeah,
ask.
we're expanding. We're looking at some bigger like chains because really we don't want to sell in a vacuum. We want to really help everybody. That's kind of
Yes.
the mission and the legacy that we want to leave behind.
Awesome. I love your heart, Scott. The fact that you even said I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I knew there were certain ingredients in this. That says so much about you.
Thank
And
you.
this movement needs more like you. So thank you for bringing your
I
voice.
appreciate that. Thanks for
And
having us on.
absolutely, it's a pleasure and honor. And you can find more of these movers and shakers, big ideas, bold thinkers here in this biohacking movement, just like Scott and MTE. You can find it on the PulseCast. And until next time, stay connected. We'll see you.